There's a certain magic in watching a day unfold without the confines of a rigid schedule. One morning, I found myself seated at my kitchen table, a half-empty mug of coffee beside me, and a playlist of my favorite songs looping in the background. As I savored a handful of almonds, I realized this was what I called a lazy-busy day, a day where reinvention seemed to be the only agenda. In these moments, I wasn't just passing time, I was actively engaging in the symphony of my own creation, orchestrating the balance between rest and productivity. The art of controlled chaos. At first glance, a lazy-busy day might seem like an oxymoron. How can a day be both lazy and busy? It's a paradox that I've come to embrace. The term encapsulates my approach to time, simultaneously carefree and purposeful. On such days, I allow myself the freedom to drift between tasks, to dive into creative projects, or simply savor moments of stillness. This flexibility is not a lack of direction, but a conscious choice to break away from the shackles of a traditional schedule. It's about granting myself permission to explore without the burden of an agenda. This form of controlled chaos becomes fertile ground for creativity. By sidestepping the structured hours, I find myself more open to spontaneous bursts of inspiration. Whether it's jotting down a poetic line that suddenly strikes or experimenting with a new recipe, the fluidity nurtures a fertile ground for reinvention. Music as the metronome of my day. Music plays a pivotal role in this medley of reinvention. It acts as both backdrop and catalyst, driving the rhythm of my thoughts and actions. Unlike the typical trend of sharing your current playlist on social media, my choices are intimate, personal. This isn't about broadcasting taste, it's about tuning into what resonates with my mood at that moment. Songs I've loved for years mingle with new discoveries, each track a spark that can ignite a new idea or soothe a restless mind. The melody becomes a metronome, guiding the tempo of my day. Sometimes, a single track on repeat provides the necessary soundtrack for introspection or innovation. Music is the silent partner in my creative process, its subtle influence shaping the contours of my thoughts and actions. Small pleasures, big impacts. Interestingly, it's often the small pleasures that leave the most significant impact on these days. Snacks, for instance, are more than sustenance. They are a sensory indulgence that complements the mental feast. Whether it's the crunch of almonds or the sweetness of fresh fruit, these small indulgences ground me in the present moment, offering a tactile contrast to the cerebral wanderings of my mind. Such pleasures remind me that productivity isn't solely about grand accomplishments. Sometimes, it's the quiet satisfaction of a well-brewed cup of tea or the delight of sunlight streaming through the window that fuels my day. These little joys serve as milestones, marking the passage of time in a way that spreadsheets and to-do lists never could. Embracing the unscripted. Ultimately, the beauty of a lazy-busy day lies in its unscripted nature. It's a choice to embrace uncertainty, to find comfort in the unplanned. By letting go of the traditional markers of productivity, I've discovered a more personal rhythm, one that prioritizes well-being over relentless efficiency. This approach has taught me to be kinder to myself, to allow room for mistakes and experimentation. In relinquishing the pressure to constantly measure up to external standards, I've found a deeper sense of fulfillment. Reinvention, then, becomes less about changing who I am and more about rediscovering what truly matters. As I settle into the final notes of my playlist and the last crumbs of my snack disappear, I know that today's journey of reinvention has its own quiet triumphs. In these moments of balance and spontaneity, I find the clarity to see what lies ahead, an endless horizon of possibilities waiting to be explored. So the next time you find yourself in the throes of a lazy-busy day, embrace it. Let the music guide you, savor the small pleasures, and allow yourself to wander without a map. You might just find that in this delicate dance between laziness and busyness, the most profound reinventions occur.